Hey, seventh graders, welcome to your study guide. It's 14 questions, so let's go ahead and get started. Question 1. Two sides of a triangle measure 20 centimeters and 30 centimeters. Which of the following could be the measure of the third? Always use this template and I assign your biggest side. So if I'm choosing 2, my biggest side is 30. 22 is not greater than 30, so 2 is not an option. Trying the next one, 7, still 30 is the greatest side. 27 is not greater than 30, so this is not an option. D is our third and only possible side. Question 2, classify the triangle by its angles and sides. Taking a look at this and using our anchor charts or from memory, we think about how it could be named equilateral, isosceles, scalene, acute, right, or obtuse. There are 2 identical and 1 not identical, so that's going to be isosceles for the side lengths. And then if you look at each angle on the inside, that's acute. This is a drop down and we move on to the next one. True or false? Is it possible to construct a right equilateral triangle? In other words, is it possible to have a triangle made up of 3 right angles? This is impossible, so this is false. Because if you have 3 right angles, that's 90, 90, 90, and the max for a triangle is 180. Question 4, find the measures of each angle. Measure of angles CFD we see as a right angle because it is supplementary to this angle. BFC, using AFC, I know that this is a 90-degree angle and BFC is part of it. So if we know that this is 42, 90 minus 42 is going to give us this angle of 48. Now let's take a look at angle DFE. DFE, I see that this is a vertical angle with BFA, so that is 42. And finally, angle AFE, that completes this supplementary angle pair. So I see 42 plus some amount is going to give me 180. Or 180 minus 42, which is 138. All right, next question. Which best describes the relationship between AFB and AFE? AFB and AFE, they make this straight line, which is a supplementary angle pair. Number 6, which best describes the relationship between AFB and CFB? They make this 90-degree angle pair, so that is complementary. Quick way to remember complementary versus supplementary, C can be turned into 90 and S can be turned into 180, so that means that's what they sum to. Which best describes the relationship between AFB and DFE? These are vertical angles, so they're congruent. Okay, number 8. Select the equation you would use to solve for x. I see ABD is a 90-degree angle, so the sum of these 2 angles is going to equal 90. 2 plus 5x plus 38 is going to equal 90, and that is C. It's important here to show your work. So if we combine like terms 38 and 2, that's 40 plus 5x. This becomes a 2-step equation. First step, subtract 40. Second step, divide. You get x is equal to 10. And since this whole thing is 90, if we subtract away this 38 degrees, we're going to get this angle here of 52 degrees. You will lose points on the test tomorrow if you do not show your work for this. Question 9 is very similar, except now we have a supplementary angle pair. This angle for x sums with 52 to equal 180. So that would be B. We're going to show work here, subtracting 52 on both sides, then dividing both sides by 4 to get x is equal to 32. Then to figure out what this is, we are subtracting 180 minus 52, or you could do 4 times 32. to get 128. Again, make sure you show work for this to get points. Okay, question 10. The dog park has the shape of a rectangle. A scale drawing for the dog park measures 9 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Name the dimensions of the actual dog park and find the area of the actual dog park. Okay, it's always model over actual, and the model units look like it's centimeters, and the actual is feet because the scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 13 feet. So 1 centimeter is equal to 13 feet is going to be used for a proportion to find the length here. We know that it's 9 centimeters, but we're looking for how many feet. Using cross multiplication, we get x is equal to 117 feet for our length. Now for width, model is centimeters over feet. So that's 1 centimeter is equal to 13 feet. And that's going to be 6 centimeters to how many feet? Cross multiplication, we get 6 times 13, which is 78 feet. Now to find the area, looks like we're going to find the product of the length times the width, which is 9,126 feet squared. Now notice I can't really see all of the options here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the top up here and I'm going to zoom out until I can see all the options. So if this happens to you on the test, zoom out, and then keep in mind that, oh, that is kind of small, that square feet is what we're looking for, and this is 9,126 feet. You could put the comma or you could not put the comma, but that's how you put your answer in for this one. All right, next question, number 11. A scale drawing shows a circular fountain with a diameter of 16 units. The actual fountain has a diameter of 80 feet. What possible scales could be used for the drawing? Recall that scale is a ratio between two sets of measurements, for example, 1 centimeter to 1 mile. So there could be equivalent scales just like there are equivalent fractions. So if we take the ratio of our model units, which is units, to actual units, which is feet, we're dividing 16 units by 80 feet to get some ratio. So I have a couple options here. I can simplify this fraction to make it 1 unit out of 5 feet, or I can look at this as a decimal 0.2 units per foot. So if I were to take the ratio between the model over the actual for all of these by dividing 16 by 80, by dividing 12 by 1, by dividing 1 over 80, as long as it's the model over the actual, 5 over 80, 1 over 5 for E, and 4 out of 20 for F. Dividing each one and comparing them to my fraction, I should get 1/5 if they simplify and are equivalent. So B and C are not equivalent. If I simplify 5 out of 80, that's 1 out of 16, not equivalent. 1/5 is equivalent, so far I have A and E, and 4 out of 20 is also 1/5. So our answers here are A, E, and F for equivalent. There's multiple answers. All right, question 12. You are making a sculpture of your best friend using pasta. Your best friend is 5.5 feet tall. Every foot of your friend's height is represented by 4 centimeters in your pasta sculpture. How tall will your pasta sculpture be? So we know a few things. We know that our best friend is 0.5 tall. Every 1 foot, every time we see every, that means 1 of the unit, is 4 centimeters. So which one's the model, which one's the actual? Well, we know the sculpture is the model, and we know that every foot is the actual. So my units for model is centimeters, and that's 4 centimeters for every 1 foot. So my model is centimeters, my actual is foot. So I'm going to set up my proportion now. What do I know versus am I looking for? I know that 4 centimeters model over 1 foot actual is, what do I know? Equal to some amount of centimeters that represents 5.5 feet. As long as you keep these in order, model over actual, centimeters over feet, we're set. And when we cross multiply, we get 4 times 5.5 is equal to x, which is 22 centimeters. So my best friend sculpture is going to be 22 centimeters tall. Again, I see a case where I might not see all the units, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And the unit I'm going to pick is centimeters. So make sure you have the correct unit. You have feet, so you're looking for centimeters. Also keep in mind you are getting points for showing your work for this one and losing points for not. All right, question 13. Examine the cross section of the cone. The plane is horizontal and parallel to the base. So the base here is a circle. Name the shape of the cross section. Well, we see this shape right here is very clearly a circle. And we know it's circle and not cone because the cross section is the 2D shape that is seen when you cut into a 3D figure. So for a cylinder, it would be a circle. For a triangular prism and such. So here's how you get a cross section. That's the shape you see when you cut into it. Let's see if that helps us with this last question. Which of the following cannot be the shape of the cross section of a cylinder? So if we cut it parallel to the base, we're going to get a circle. So that can be. And if we cut it vertically to the base, we're going to get this rectangular shape, as we see over here. When you cut vertically, you get the side. So the only one we're not going to get is the triangle. Okay, when we go to submit, we'll see that 8 and 9 have partial credit for work, and number 12 is going to be partial credit for work. Keep in mind for 8, it's 3 parts, and you're going to get points for all of these answers for 8 and for 9. All right, 7th graders, reach out to your teachers if you have questions. We'll see you tomorrow for the test.